All right, next up, we're going to be listening to Karl, the managing director and head of crypto investment banking at Cantor Fitzgerald, where he leads the firm's digital asset capital market strategy. With extensive experience in investment banking, Peter has been instrumental in structuring and executing significant capital raises for leading Bitcoin companies. Please welcome Karl.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you to the strategy team for the continued partnership. It's pretty incredible how these events have grown. Before I kick off, just a quick anecdote. Cantor Fitzgerald started in the crypto sector in 2021. We grew the team, and in 2022, we had our first crypto conference in Miami in November of 22, and FTX had declared Chapter 11 the day before our conference. So that made for a very fun event. Felt more like a funeral than a conference. And this past year at our event in Miami, it was our most well-attended event. Michael was one of the keynotes, and a little bit different sentiment at that point. It was mostly people watching on Polymarket how the current administration's cabinet was going to shake out. But Karl, managing director, I lead our crypto and digital asset coverage on the investment banking side of the house, joined by some of my colleagues here in the crowd. And what I want to talk to you about today is who is Cantor Fitzgerald, demonstrate our commitment to the digital asset sector, and also, and most relevant to the audience, introduce our new Bitcoin lending facility that we think is really going to reshape the market. So who is Cantor? Cantor is an 80-year-old institution formed by some of the world's leading companies. We have Cantor, which is our investment bank, BGC, which is a brokerage and financial technology company, and Newmark, which are partners on the commercial real estate side that have worked with us extensively building out projects, especially within the Bitcoin mining and digital infrastructure sector. So Cantor is focusing on Cantor specifically. We are a full-service investment bank, and we've been a leader in the crypto and digital asset sector for a few years now. We have full-service investment banking across equity capital markets, debt capital markets, M&A, private capital raising. We have one of the largest equity distribution forces across Wall Street, and we are one of the last remaining private partnerships across Wall Street, and that allows us to be very nimble. If you take one thing away from this presentation, it should be that Cantor is foundational, and we will be here for the tenure as this sector continues to grow. We're not opportunistic, and we've seen a lot of people, as you all have, come in and out of the sector. We are committed from our chairman level down, and while we've made incredible progress, and Michael said to us at dinner last night, how could you ever sell Bitcoin now? We have the institutional adoption. It's also still early. We have a lot of growth to go, and we're building our platform around that. So we're about 14,000 employees globally, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, London, and regional offices across the globe. So getting to the important slide here, this is kind of demonstrating our commitment to crypto. So as I mentioned, we built out the team starting in 2021. A lot of companies were going public through SPAC mergers at the time, and in the public world, a lot of the public companies were Bitcoin mining companies. We hired the only dedicated crypto research team across the street. You can find them walking around. I won't say much more. Compliance is always watching, but we have a great crypto team that covers the entire sector and dedicated research to the sector. They're not repurposed fintech analysts. And the same thing goes with our coverage group. So we have about 10 bankers dedicated to the sector, not repurposed fintech bankers, not digital infrastructure bankers, not repurposed coverage bankers. We are focused on the sector across the spectrum. And a lot of what we've done has been in the Bitcoin mining industry in terms of capital raising, because that's where the public companies were. So we raised about $10 billion in convertible bonds last year. It was an incredible whirlwind, and starting really after the BTC Nashville conference, who puts on an incredible event every year. But starting after that conference, you saw miners start to tap the convertible debt market, and this was a natural progression. We lead most of the ATM programs in the market, which has been the lifeblood of this sector. But eventually, ATMs get dilutive, and by introducing additional shares into the market, increasing the technicals and the borrow of these companies, we were able to raise over $10 billion in convertible debt, and in total, we raised over $30 billion across 35 transactions. And the strategy numbers, of course, always help with the amount of capital that they've been raising. This year, as I said, we hosted our crypto conference again, and I think all of this in summation and what was evident at that conference and what's been really helpful is we found unique investor interest in the sector. So as you're working with institutions, there are the marquee names, blue chip mutual funds that everybody can introduce you to. But where we really pride ourselves is with our large sales force, with our research team, with investment banking, finding unique pockets of capital that are interesting. And a great example of that is we launched a $650 million convertible bond for CleanSpark in Q4 of last year. And it was after MicroStrategy had tapped the market, Mara had tapped the market, Core Scientific, all of the miners. And the market fell out, and investors finally said, we've had enough. We leveraged our relationships, we structured the deal appropriately, and we raised them $650 million at a 0% coupon with an effective 100% premium with the use of a capped call. And it changed that company for the foreseeable future, and they remain one of the last pure play miners. But we're excited about where we're going from here. So we see a pipeline of IPOs outside of Bitcoin mining, a little bit of volatility, some news on tariffs apparently, but we expect the IPO market, which will just diversify the public company portfolio, which just makes the digital asset ecosystem more solidified and will allow all of you to be able to access the market with less risk here. So this brings me to really the crux of the conversation, and I'd love to have follow-ups with anybody interested in this. I have a few of my colleagues here. We can get more into the details. I'm going to keep it relatively high level, but there hasn't been an institution with Cantor's track record. Cantor has an 80-year track record. We're an investment grade rated company. We're a primary broker. But there hasn't been that type of counterparty that was willing to lend to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So with our partners, we launched this initial $2 billion program, which we initially announced last summer. And we have had an incredible amount of demand here. This is a non-recourse, non-mark-to-market facility, meaning we're not going to hit you with a margin call if things swing 5 to 10%. This is a volatile market we live in, and we're trying to provide flexibility to you. The rates are SOFR, think high single digits and a very competitive loan to value, making this a product that makes a Bitcoin Treasury strategy even more feasible. Because if you don't want to sell your Bitcoin and you want to gain yield, you have a trusted counterparty that you can borrow with in scale, with flexibility, and with trust. And that's incredibly important as well. We've announced that we're partnering with Anchorage and Copper as our custody partners. The same teams that are working with BlackRock. And our goal is just to give more comfort to our corporate partners. And also, we view this holistically. So we are not a fund that's looking to make a quick dollar here. We want to build a comprehensive partnership to work with you, again, across your equity capital markets need, across debt advisory, across M&A. And this is just another piece of the puzzle. And we're constantly looking for additional offerings that we can provide from a large global investment bank, because we just haven't seen that yet. Another thing to hit on, and another testament to our depth in the sector, and something that I think everyone's excited about. We launched 21, which is our Bitcoin acquisition vehicle. We announced that candidly when we started. We were a little nervous how Michael and the team were going to react, but could have been more supportive. The white paper is public, and we built that, and imitation is the purest form of flattery. We did that in partnership with Tether, which is publicly available, that they've been an incredible partner to us across a lot of different initiatives. They contributed $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And we brought SoftBank back into the digital asset ecosystem. They have not played recently. There was a lot of work that was done, but between Tether and SoftBank on that announcement, I think I saw Bitcoin jump $7,000. But we plan to replicate the same strategy, and we're incredibly excited for that transaction. I can't speak too much more on it as it's still to close. And then, today we saw a few more announcements, and a few people came up to me and said, thank you for announcing 21. That helped me get my deal closed. And that's what we want to see. This is an ecosystem that success creates success, and we're very excited for that to play out. So what I'd like to do, and again, I don't want to get into the terms specifically up here. We'll be outside with the full team. We can follow up, but we are lending in scale. So I think for this initial $2 billion, we probably are not looking at $10 million loans, but we can go as big as you need. So 50, 100, multiple $100 million. We have that scale. It's easy. We have the program in place. And the initial $2 billion, which, if we hit all the demand that came in, would be spoken for. We have additional tranches of $2 billion that are going to come out. So we're excited to talk with you guys. And it's just, again, I just want to emphasize, it's a piece of the puzzle here. It's a piece of the puzzle to help this ecosystem grow. And while thinking through Bitcoin as Treasury and what that looks like, whether you're a miner or an exchange or a staking player, or just a corporation that believes that Bitcoin should be part of your balance sheet, we want to talk to you. We've had interest from all the different categories, and we're excited to get this program off the ground and continue to scale. So with that, I ask that everybody, if anybody's interested, please meet us outside. We'll talk in more detail. We can get you in touch with our Bitcoin lending team, which is based in New York. And if anybody has any other questions or wants to talk capital markets, M&A, we have our full team here today. And that's really why we're a Titanium sponsor of this conference. We want to be viewed as a trusted partner and appreciate everybody's support in this ecosystem, which is just going to continue to grow. So with that, thank you again to the strategy team, and we'll be outside. Thank you all so much.